quite a while back, possibly 12 months ago, maybe even more, I did a video on fitness and the definition of fitness. And it was really about looking at the different types of fitness, and how I think people get confused because there are so many options out there. People get confused about what fitness is. I think I got it wrong. I'll be honest. I think I got it horribly, horribly wrong. I've assumed people weren't getting fit or doing things to keep themselves active because they didn't actually understand what fitness could be, or that they were somehow, it all seemed too much, too hard, so they just didn't bother. And it was convenient almost to be confused. The confusion is definitely there. I'll be honest with that one. But I think the confusion is there because there is so much information out there. And not only that there's so many videos out there on Google or YouTube or wherever, even on Facebook, that say this is the one that does this. This is the do these 10 exercises and you'll be amazing forever. And it's just a load of shit. So I think that's what's confusing people, is that they keep with every video saying this is the only way to do it. So but they're conflicting techniques and what have you. So I'm actually going to explain a little bit about fitness video psychology and fitness psychology. And that is, unfortunately, human race, from when they've done research and studies into motivations and things around fitness or around anything. Unfortunately, if it's quick, if it's apparently easy, and it has an instant take-in, in other words, join now, those what they call a call to action, our psychology says that must be better than something that's slow, that takes time and effort, and that may not actually cost anything. So our psychology, our brains are actually activated and turned on and motivated by the flashy, quick, blah, 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 blah. So that is why infomercials work. That is why at 2 a.m. when you're watching the Ab Circle Pro or whatever, you think it's the best thing and you need that in your life. Your brain is actually designed to pay attention to those things because that's movement, flashy things. You think about it, that's kind of survival. If you see something flash out of the corner of your eye, your brain pays attention to that because it could be a saber-toothed tiger about to take your ass out. So our brains are still on that. They're also, those people, they're high energy, they talk fast. That's also hypes us up. That's that collective enthusiasm. You can't help but being drawn in and sucked into that. And those are kind of all the opposite things to my personality for the majority of the time. So that makes it a little bit difficult for me to explain this stuff to you, because I'm not a rah-rah cheerleader kind of for fitness. I just think it's an essential part of life. And a lot of trainers think that. So I don't do the flashy workouts. I don't do boot camps. I don't do that sort of stuff because I know that they're the razzle dazzle. They get you excited. They get you in. They also get you injured, and they also come and go, and they're not sustainable long term. So that's my logic overriding all those other factors that go on. So, but not everyone operates like that. So my thing about fitness, I want to kind of explain to you today is classic example. I've had 2 examples this week already. So one lady comes in 3 times a week. She does half an hour. She just does a little, just enough to keep herself moving, does a bit of a circuit. She walks to the gym most of the time. Sometimes she does drive. She keeps herself pretty active though. She walks on other days as well. And I'm not talking about a power walk. I'm talking, she just walks. She's had a knee replacement, so she just walks at her own pace. She'd be probably in her late 60s, possibly early 70s. I don't really want to say. I don't know, and I don't want to insult her. So she said was last Friday, she said this fitness stuff is working, this gym stuff is working. So she's been coming for about 4 months consistently, with a few breaks here and there, like in terms of, she's been on holidays or what have you. And she said on weekends they have a holiday place that they go to, and there's a hill. and she always dreads that hill because it's not a long hill or anything like that. It's not a steep climb, but it's enough that to get to where she needs to be, she actually feels puffed afterwards, and she always dreads it. She's like, oh, you've got to drag, as we do with any hill, we've got to drag ourselves up the hill. Well, she said last weekend, she sort of went, oh, okay, we're at that bit of the road, really. Went up the hill and sort of got to the top and went, oh, I actually feel okay. I actually don't, I'm a little bit puffed, but I'm not exhausted. I'm not out of breath. I don't have to sort of stop and catch my breath before I go into the next bit of my walk. And she said it was actually, I just did it. It was kind of like I could have been walking around a corner, I could have been walking downhill. She just did it, and it really didn't puff her out, or she didn't notice that it was a pain in the bum to do it. So for her, what she does in the gym, that routine, that keep him active, doesn't mean she's lifting heavier in the gym. It doesn't mean she's pushing herself harder in the gym. It means her everyday life gets easier. And that's what fitness is. That's what I want people to understand about fitness. It's not about smashing out workouts in the gym. It's about getting through your day easier. It's about, being able to go for a run if you want to, being able to walk up a hill without it being an issue, being able to lift and carry boxes, help a friend move house without being knocked up for the next 4 weeks. That's what fitness is. Another story I got yesterday, and this one's kind of an odd one. I had a lady that comes in, same thing. She actually only manages, some weeks she only manages to get in once. Sometimes it's twice. Occasionally she gets 3 times in. But when she's here, she makes the most of it. She usually comes in for about 45 minutes to an hour. And she does a variety of things. Once again, she's an older lady. She has a very, very busy life. She does lots of things, and she travels a fair bit. So, but she's been coming now for probably 5 years, I would say, probably even more. But so her consistency is over the long-term journey. It is not in the week-to-week journey. So she had a fall, unfortunately, last week, and came in yesterday to tell me about it. So she used to have osteoporosis, and she's got a few other things going on, as apparently most people do once you get a certain age. But it's not an inevitable thing. So she had a fall down the street. She was in Shepparton and landed hands and knee. So she came in and she said, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been in. I had a fall last week. But here's the good news. I have no broken bones. So for someone who has had osteoporosis for quite a few years now, for her to have a major fall on bitumen in the middle of a busy street, she has no broken bones. She has not damaged any ligaments, tendons, or torn any muscles. She's got a bruising on her knee and a graze on her knee, and she's got grazing on her hands. That is all that is wrong with her. So she was checked over by paramedics because there was a few people, it was an incident that happened, so that a few people were injured at different times. And she was sort of around that area. So she was checked out by paramedics, checked out by doctors, and then drove home. There was absolutely nothing wrong with her. So for her, she came in to tell me that because of the gym, she was able to control her fall. Her bones didn't break, and she can still walk around and she's actually fine. Now, not everyone is that lucky, but the mechanisms of falling, if you fall like that, that is the most common way of falling, where children and older adults break either an arm or dislocate a shoulder or break a collarbone. They do that action, or they break a wrist. It's really, really common. So for her to do none of those things says that she had enough poison control in her body to actually control the way she fell. She still fell, but it didn't have any lasting deep impacts. It's just left her with grazes and cuts. That's what fitness is. And I know this sounds like a weird one, but the fact that you are able to control, to catch yourself, to control a fall, to minimize harm, the fact that her bones were strong enough to withhold something like that. When she's in her 70s, she has osteoporosis, she has a whole lot of medical issues. So she knows she has to keep herself active. So she doesn't always make it to the gym, but she keeps herself active and she looks after her food and she looks after all those other aspects of her health. So the gym, working out, coming to the gym, not smashing out PBs in the gym, but that helped her in her everyday life. And that's helped her to survive something as simple as a fall, which actually happens to a lot of people and it can be really have devastating effects. So when you think about fitness and you think about coming to a gym, don't just think about, I don't want to be one of those people, I don't want to stand in front of the mirror, I'm not interested in lifting weights, I don't want to look, my body's happy the way it is, I don't want to be a bikini model, I don't want to be a bodybuilder, what else do people say? I don't want to sweat that much, I don't like sweating at all, that's excessive, those people are crazy. Some of them are, that's fine. There are lots of crazy going around. You don't have to go to a gym to find crazy. But they're not looking to excel in the gym. They're looking for the gym to support their active lifestyle outside of the gym, outside of this environment. This stuff just keeps them going. So when you think about fitness, don't think about doing in the gym. I actually want you to think about what is my daily life going to look like if I can get myself fit? What is the hill that I find that I'm puffed on? Am I going to be able to climb that without feeling overwhelmed, puffed, exhausted? What hills do I have in my life that bit of fitness would help? What do I have osteoporotic bones? Do I fall often, or have I fallen before and I need to make sure I can hold myself up? Do I feel unsteady on steps? Do I feel unsteady on ladders? Do I just avoid those things altogether because I know I can't do them? They're the sorts of questions that, if the answer to those questions are yes, if you're avoiding stuff in your day-to-day life because you don't feel steady or you don't feel like you're capable of doing them physically, that's when you need to tap into gym fitness. And I don't care which gym it is. Even if it's just to have a conversation with someone and then do stuff at home. But you need to start doing something, because fitness isn't about lifting, smashing out PBs, lifting heavy weights, or jumping, doing box jumps until you vomit, or burpees until you vomit, all that sort of stuff. That's the stuff we see on Instagram and on Facebook and what have you, and it's actually not what fitness is all about. Fitness is about actually being active and enjoying your day-to-day life outside of the gym. That's my little coffee tip for today. I'm going to have my coffee now. Hope you're going to have one too. See ya.